Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers, latest ranking reveals best 2024 QB option. Kenny Pickett is just fourth. The Pittsburgh Steelers have already said that they are sticking with Kenny Pickett as their starting quarterback for the 2024 NFL season. Even franchise legend Terry Bradshaw has expressed his support for Pickett. However, none of those has successfully silenced speculation surrounding the future of Pickett as the team's QB1. After all, rumors are fun. And the same rumors have continued to swirl about potential starting quarterbacks for the Steelers in 2024. Over at Steelers Wire, Kurt Popejoy tried to rank the most popular options for Pittsburgh's number 1 QB role. It may or may not surprise you that Kenny Pickett isn't the top choice on the list. Rather, it's Chicago Bears QB Justin Fields. If the deal is reasonable, meaning no Steelers first-round pick on the table, we consider trading for Justin Fields and building Arthur Smith's offense around his skills with Kenny Pickett as a backup is the best option for the team to win for the next few seasons. Fields has long been linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers as a trade target. The Bears have not shut down the idea of potentially trading Fields, a move that is mainly contingent on what exactly they do with their number 1 pick at the 2024 NFL Draft. If the Bears take a QB, it could be the end of Fields in Windy City. For what it's worth, Pickett is only number 4 on the list, behind Russell Wilson at number 3 and Ryan Tannehill at number 2. If the Steelers don't land any of the 3 vets above, signing Mason Rudolph and letting him and Pickett duke it out through training camp and the preseason makes the most sense. This doesn't rule out a rookie as well later in the draft or even a cheaper free agent, but that would probably take Rudolph off the board. During a time when Kenny Pickett is getting vetoed by his own receivers, at least someone is showing him some love. It seems defensive back Patrick Peterson is one of few teammates on #TeamKennyPickett. After a rant about how Pickett can't stand tall in the pocket to deliver the ball to his pass catchers, Peterson said he'd still choose Pickett over Mason Rudolph. If I had to hand the keys over to a guy, it would be Kenny Pickett, Peterson said on the February 22 All Things Covered podcast. Not only did we go out and draft this guy, we got him as our franchise quarterback. It didn't end up panning out the way we thought it would. We fired our OC, we're gonna give everybody a fresh start, and we drafted him to be our guy. So now we've got a new offensive coordinator in here, a new offensive mind, a new way of thinking on how to get the ball downfield, how to get the ball in important people's hands. Typically, Mike Tomlin preaches about that critical second-year leap. In Pickett's sophomore season, it was 2 steps back. But given the coordinator debacle, which Tomlin created himself, the quarterback deserves a clean slate under a new offensive regime. Steelers OC receives high praise at NFL Combine. The Pittsburgh Steelers are beginning their scouting at the 2024 NFL Combine, but before they begin meeting with players and addressing their draft board, most of the league's general managers and head coaches took the podium to discuss the current state of their franchises. While Steelers general manager Omar Khan did not speak due to a tragic event in his family, some members of the Pittsburgh organization were discussed by others around the NFL. One member who received plenty of praise was new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, who is still getting plenty of love from his former team. Atlanta Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot was asked about Smith and his new position with the Steelers, and had nothing but positive reviews about Pittsburgh's new play caller. "Yeah, love Arthur Smith, and we spent 3 years together and we were like brothers and we had a really collaborative relationship," Fontenot. "Love Arthur, love his family, and we're rooting for him going to Pittsburgh. And look, Arthur is, if you spend any time with him, you can tell right away, he's a smart guy and all he's worried about is making that football team better. And so, I've gotten to talk to Coach Tomlin over the last few weeks too, now being with Raheem and the relationship he has with Mike Tomlin, but I know they're gonna have a really good relationship and they're gonna do everything they can do to make that team as good as they can." When it comes to the firing of Smith in Atlanta, many turn to the quarterback situation and question whether or not Smith will be able to develop a passer such as Kenny Pickett. But the Falcons' new coach Raheem Morris had some brutally honest truth to tell the fans and media. "If we had better quarterback play, I may not be standing here," Morris said in his press conference. The optimism around Smith is growing, and what the Steelers' new offensive coordinator could bring to this team and its young offense is beginning to excite most who follow the team, and his praise at the NFL Combine should only help boost that excitement. Steelers named potential landing spot for six-time Pro Bowler. Early on in the 2024 NFL offseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers have some areas they need to address on defense. They had no depth at linebacker in 2023. Similar depth issues came up at safety as well. The team needs a CB2. Pittsburgh could also use some reinforcements on the defensive line. The team has a pretty strong front seven with TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Elandon Roberts, and Cameron Hayward. They also got a solid rookie season out of Keanu Benton. However, they could end up moving on from Larry Ogunjobi to save cap space after a disappointing 2023 season. If they do, they could be in the market for a veteran to take his place. That replacement could be a defensive lineman that has accumulated plenty of accolades during his NFL career. In his article examining the best free agent interior linemen, PFF's Brad Spielberger named the Steelers as a potential landing spot for Philadelphia Eagles lineman Fletcher Cox. Cox was once one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. From 2014 to 2020, he earned 4 All-Pro nods and made the Pro Bowl 6 times. He isn't still at that same level now that he is on the wrong side of 30, but he proved in 2023 that he still has plenty left in the tank. In his 12th year in the NFL, Cox remained an important part of the Eagles' defense. He played 66% of the team's defensive snaps even after the team added Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in the last 2 drafts. He was effective in that time on the field, sacking opposing quarterbacks 5 times and pressuring them on 28 other occasions. He also added 3 tackles for a loss and 18 stops while defending the run. It was another solid season for Cox with the Eagles, but he's expected to move on from the only team he has ever played for in the NFL as they transition to their younger options at the position. That could lead him to a team that has tried to trade for him in the past and that he has recently expressed some interest in joining. Interest between the Steelers and Cox isn't anything new. The team has tried to pursue the 6-time Pro Bowler in the past. According to CBS Sports' Jason La Canfora, the Steelers attempted to trade for Cox ahead of the 2021 trade deadline, but weren't able to get a deal done as they weren't willing to meet the Eagles' asking price of a 3rd-round pick. Cox reciprocated that interest earlier this offseason. Cox appeared on Cameron Hayward's Not Just Football podcast during the week of the Super Bowl. During his appearance, Hayward asked which defensive lineman Cox would like the chance to play alongside. His answer was Hayward. "It's all love. Just respect that you got for the game, respect that I have for the game. The way that you play the game, the way that I play the game, like we definitely could. That would have been nice. We could make some things happen." With both sides having shown interest in making a move, this could be something that finally gets done during the 2023 offseason. And you fan, what do you think of the Fletcher Cox situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.